Hey guys, welcome to another video. And today we're going to be talking about staying motivated within your nursing career, as well as nursing burnout should you face that. So losing motivation and having burnout in the healthcare industry is becoming a huge problem. It isn't a new thing. This has been going on since the pandemic started, and it seems like it is progressively getting worse. It seems like a lot of nurses are moving away from bedside, getting away from the hospital, not wanting to work with patients directly, looking for alternatives to nursing, getting out of nursing completely, transitioning to different types of nursing, that kind of stuff. But it seems like it's a big problem and a lot of nurses are facing and dealing with it right now. I know exactly how this is because I suffered from nursing burnout when I was in the emergency room for quite a while. I worked nights in the emergency room and I suffered from nursing burnout, not realizing it for several years, I think, now looking back on it. And it's something that creeps up on you. I think a lot of nurses don't really realize that they're starting to get burnt out. They just think that they need some time off or they need a vacation or something like that. And then they just get kind of jaded. They start to get a little bit more grouchy, a little bit more easily upset while they're working. They really are just on edge with their families. There's a lot of symptoms to nursing burnout or to burnout in general, but I was exhibiting and experiencing a lot of those symptoms towards the end of my stint in the emergency room. And I really had I really didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand that is what was going on, especially because I worked nights. And I didn't realize how much working a night shift, I was on nights for like 4 or 5 years. I didn't realize working nights and how much that really affects you and contributes to burnout. I would also say that nursing burnout can also be labeled as lack of motivation for your career. I think that those things are kind of interchangeable. When people talk about, I just don't have the motivation to do this anymore, or this just really isn't what I want to do anymore, that is, in my subjective view, a form of burnout, and is being burnt out as a nurse. You don't necessarily have to have like a mental breakdown or anything like that to be burnt out. You could just be to the point where you've been doing it so long, you've been, overworked with critical patients and in an environment that's high stress, and you just don't want to do it anymore. You want to look for a career where you can go, you could do your job, do what you love as a nurse, and then go home and actually be able to relax and decompress and interact with your loved ones and have a normal life outside of your nursing job. I think as nurses, we can all say that we truly love what we do. If you last in the nursing field, you can accurately say that you love what you do. You love being a nurse and you love taking care of patients, because that's a part of being a nurse, is taking care of patients and offering that good patient care. And I think all nurses want to be good nurses. They all want to take care of patients as best as they possibly can. I think what happens though is nurses get in a routine where they're constantly being subjected to high levels of stress with taking care of patients. And I think nurses become very jaded, unfortunately, and they almost operate on autopilot, in that, they render really amazing quality patient care, but sometimes you forget to offer that humanistic side of being a nurse and really showing the patient that we as nurses actually care about them. And I think that is half of what it means to be a nurse, is resonating with your patient that you actually care about them and you want to see them get better. The first step to correcting being burnt out or having lack of motivation within your nursing career is first to identify it. and really look at yourself, examine the care that you're offering, examine the behaviors that you're exhibiting at home, and saying, hey, something's not right here. Something's not right with me. That's not the type of person that I want to be, and I'm not happy in the current situation that I'm in. So once you have identified that you are having a lack of motivation within your career, or you're having some level of burnout within your career, the second step is to identify what is causing that. Is it that you're working too much? Are you not taking enough time off for vacations and time for yourself and your family? Or are you just kind of fed up with your career altogether and you just want to change a pace, whether it be in a different path of nursing or in a different career completely away from nursing? So the third step is to do some research. We have identified what is that we are burnt out. We have identified what is causing us to feel burnt out. Now we need to do the research and figure out how we can correct this situation, whether it be taking time off, taking a vacation, or a change in career path to do something completely different, whether it be within nursing or outside of nursing. Again, in my case, I was an ER nurse, so I chose to go into home infusion. I went into home infusion nursing. That was the change that I needed to get myself back on track. Now again, there's so many different things out there for nurses to do other than work in the hospital bedside. You can be a home infusion nurse. You can work in home health. You can work by starting your own business. There's so many different avenues that nurses can take that are outside of what nurses consider to be normal. And I think a lot of nurses don't realize how many opportunities are available to them outside of the hospital. And it's really, really important for nurses to understand that they do not have to work bedside if they don't want to. Especially if you're an experienced nurse and you've been working in a hospital and you're a good nurse, then you have a ton of options open to you to progress and change your career within nursing. So we have identified that we are having a lack of motivation or burnout. We have figured out what we think is causing us to feel that way. And we have also researched on how it is that we are going to accomplish or change ourselves or our situation so that we can get ourselves out of that feeling or that rut that we are in. And the next step to this process is to come up with goals. And we need to come up with SMART goals. What SMART goals stands for is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The reason that we want to create SMART goals are because a goal without a plan to be achieved is simply a wish. And we don't want to wish ourselves to just get better. We want to have a plan in place to make sure that we create a situation that is better for ourselves and for our families. We as nurses need to put our physical and mental health first. It's easy to just put our heads down, push through the hard work and through the things that we have to deal with in our profession and at our own expenses. And we as nurses can no longer afford to allow that to happen. And we also need to be speaking up for our peers when we notice those things happening, because it's unhealthy and we have to do better. We deserve better. When you're creating these goals, it's also extremely important to involve your loved ones. I think when you are having a situation where you're feeling burnt out or you're lacking motivation for your career, that tends to spill over into your personal life quite a bit, and sometimes that can affect directly the people that you care about and your loved ones. So I think it's really important that you incorporate them to get their perspective on what's going on with you, so that you can develop goals that are not only beneficial to yourself, but also the people that you care about and your loved ones. So we're at the conclusion of this video, guys. And I just want to recap kind of what we talked about initially. Again, realizing that something's going on and causing us to feel burnt out, then identifying what it is that is making us feel like we're burnt out, then really setting those SMART goals so that we can progress and correct what it is that is causing us to feel burnt out. And then also there's a few key things to remember when we're setting those goals. And one, and most importantly, that we're focusing on taking care of ourselves, both physically and mentally. So making sure that we're exercising, we're eating right, we're sleeping well, we're drinking lots of water. Basically everything that we teach our patients, we need to do ourselves. And I think that we as nurses tend to forget that. We as a community, as a nursing community, need to come together and support each other and really try to make a difference for each other and really talk about it, work on it, and follow a systematic process that we all follow within nursing to help ourselves get better. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel as I'll be putting out a lot more content in the future. And as always, guys, thank you.